I'm going to be grabbing a set of commands to give from the server end of it. It's a command prompt that's not on the screen that allows me to set a bunch of settings. And I'm just going to paste them in. And they should change the way the server is running that I'm already in. Next thing is, and it changes the time of day. The next thing is that in the game itself, I'm going to be putting in the rcon.login password, which is literally rcon.login password. I have to do it here, and I'm going to hope that the computer doesn't screw up the font. Again, it's doing things that it shouldn't be able to do, that could never be a thing in the game, but it did it anyway. And it's very aggravating. If anybody's curious, this is a pair of pieces of software that were zipped shut, meaning they do not use a Trust Me Bro installer. They were inside of a RAR file that was posted rather on a sketchy site, but it does seem to contain the original repacking of the 2013 server and client version of Rust that was available for download as just a raw download from Steam before they took it down at some point. And then they took down the ones that were available like later on, like 2014 and 2015 and 2016. So anyway, next, now that I'm logged in as an admin, it should have allowed me to have the ability to be in God mode, meaning when I type in dmg.godmode.true into the console on the server side, it should definitively make it to where I can't die. That's going to be important in a minute. Okay, logged in as admin, and I should be incapable of dying. So, next part here is we're going to populate my inventory with stuff. I'm going to go over and off screen, you won't see it, but I'm going to add in the invisible suit, the Uber Hatchet and Uber Bow, and some supply signals, hopefully. Let's see what happens. We should start seeing it populate. And it does it kind of slowly because as it's running, the localhost copy of the server will keep updating the screen a lot faster than it needs to, and it tends to slow down the cutting and pasting of an instruction a great deal. So each one of these takes just as long as you should be seeing it on screen in real time. I'm saying that with a great deal of trepidation because the last couple of times I've tried to do this, this entire user interface disappeared, or the screen went black, or other. And it got really aggravating really quick. I'm probably tempting fate by actually acting like the game is going to be okay. Now, a couple of things about this version of Rust Legacy. It appears so far that it does not have any problem with lag. I mean, not as much as you might think. Most people who played the game Rust Legacy, the original version from 2013 and such, experience the thing actually being kind of crappy because it keeps creating lag spikes, or it's sometimes called a render spike. Now I'm going to turn, and oddly enough, in the older version, 2013, the right, left, forward, and back buttons, or up, down, right, left buttons on the keyboard, if they're assigned to rotation, actually work at the normal rate instead of being slow. For instance, I'm going to turn to the right now, and I turn around relatively fast, and left, and I can look down, and I can look up. And it actually works. It's a little bit imprecise. I'd like to have a, like a crouch function to do it to where it's slower, and or have shift be faster. But this is something that Unity game engine devs did not want to have available. So first thing is we're going to go over here and do the fun stuff and get this out of the way. We'll do the Uber Hatchet. And then it doesn't do it continually. And if we move around, it spreads fairy dust everywhere. And if we try to use it, it makes a grunting noise. And it changes pitch. And here's the bow and arrow set. I'm only going to fire 2 arrows. When we pull back, it makes a noise. And when we fire, it makes a noise. And these are distorted versions of the original arrows that diameter change repeatedly. And when you fire them, they create a render spike because they're doing this active rendering thing here. Now we're going to throw out our request for airdrops. Now, because we're so close to the ocean edge, and the ocean edge and lots of other areas on the map are going to have something called a splat map that determines the maximum range or the geofencing of whatever you're spawning. It means that all of the things we throw, everything that comes down to us as a airdrop, will land almost exactly where we are. I'm going to shoot one up in the air, see if I can get one close enough that we get it going off the edge. Now, it'll let me throw 3 maximum in this version. Uh-oh, it's going to get loud, so I'll just shut up for a second. And they each dropped, it looks like 1 parachute each. And I'm going to try to throw the one in number 5. I'm not going to do it until they land because it may lock me out of launching any more. In fact, I'm very sure it will because of experience trying to do this video a larger number of times than I really want to talk about. Now, obviously, if you have a newer version from 2014 to 2015, it may let you send up more. I did a video a while back where I found a whole stash of them, obviously left behind by an admin who was puttering around in his own server and causing trouble, because that's what, admins do if they're, trying to have fun. The only fun an admin has is to cause problems. Obviously, I'm doing it. I'm an admin. But anyway, let's see here. And if anybody's curious, I will include a link below in the description, and it's not just my say-so. Because these are compressed files in an archive like a zip or a RAR, in this case they are RAR files, you can extract them and you can get them to show the files so you can really virus scan them. So and I've checked through, at this point, 14 or 15 different virus scanners. It does appear to be safe. Now we're only going to look at one. Hey, that one might go off the edge of the map. Okay, hold on. Let's go look in this one real quick. Boop. And yeah, that's one type of loot set. When you call in a... there it is. Ooh, it might land in the water. Well, not really, but it'll kinda. It'll go below the water, maybe. It tries not to. And we're not going to see it much, but we will in a minute. Trust me, I'll be doing that. The water doesn't stop it from going down in there, so that's kind of useful. But anyway, these will have various stuff in them, and when you do it through the not this screen, but do it from the actual server side, which we're going to do right now, it'll let you do lots of them, and I just told it to do like way too many, honestly. This is going to possibly slow the machine down and probably crash it a little bit, so I'll be quiet and you can watch the epicness and play Flight of the Valkyries in the background in your mind. So yes, that's absolutely a lot more than a individual could call in or an admin can throw. And let's see if I'm allowed to throw my 4th one. And yes, I am. I should have thrown it into the water. I'm an idiot. Oh well. We'll have one more plane come in. And yes, I've gotten it to dump 300 airplanes into the air, but that does lag it to the point that I think it will crash OBS. And again, if you're near the water, it forces it to have to drop it almost over your head. But we'll see. Or it might have hit a limit and it's not going to. I really don't know. Let's go over here and see if it's out of render distance or, oddly enough, too close to render. Oh, there it is. It was literally right there. So it should punch through and hit me in the head. Let's watch. That's a particle effect if anybody's curious. I'm sure a lot of you already knew that. Yeah, so that works. And now we're going to take advantage of, hopefully, that I'm in a mode of behavior mode. I'm in a status where I won't die when I jump in the water. I'm going to try not to break my legs or anything. And let's go take a walk out in the ocean. Because when we're in this mode, we don't drown or die, because just touching water will kill us. And again, in case we die, fairy dust everywhere. And again, we're in the armor kit that's actually better, but it makes us invisible in the game. Okay, let's see if I die immediately. Nope. And we can loot stuff. Okay, got to make sure I don't. Okay, at this point, we're going to slide down. Try not to break your legs. And I'm crouching, so it slows me down. It's just something I learned to do the last 4 times I did this. Okay, now I'm going to pause the recording, and we're going to use those lines on the ground to figure out a good angle to go at. We can see kind of a corner out there, but that's kind of a false effect. I'm going to pause the recording so that we can go out there to the edge, because there is one. So here we are at the edges. Let's go over this way. And just, you hear the sound you're supposed to hear. And there's the ocean that's to scale. That's like 1,000 feet up. And yeah, I'm sure there's some Easter eggs out here that you can only see if you're in admin mode. So yeah, the idea here is, number one, you can download about 800 megabytes of file, split it off into both copies, and use a configuration that I will be doing a video on how to do, so you can do these experiments as well. So the next thing is I'm going to be backing off of it, and we'll see what happens, but I'm going to pause the video recording for a minute to do one tiny more experiment, hopefully. Yep, I'm going to do it, because I got to see what'll happen. And I'll pause the video too, because we're running out of time in the recording. And it should land right over here. Produces a raying effect like we're underwater. And I will pause the recording while we wait for it to sink all the way to the bottom here. And yeah, it's just going to fall off, and so are we. That's it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. I hope this has been informative, and if not that, at least entertaining. Bye.